for joining us. That's a great name, by the way. My son's name is Shyheim. My first question for you is Virginia has a 6'7" tight end, a 6'7" wide receiver. You're a pretty taller guy. He's 6'2", 6'3". How does that kind of help out defending guys with that size on the boundary?
Well, to be honest, my strength is kind of like guarding taller receivers, so it shouldn't be too challenging. I know these guys are talented just as well as I am. You know, they're playing at D1 big division school, so I think it'll work in my favor. You know, length against length. You know, it's just all about who's a more aggressive, who's a more aggressive opponent.
I mean, somebody that tall, 6'7", how do you kind of simulate that in practice? Who you guys have been like going against to kind of simulate that height and that size?
Well, really, the biggest target we have is probably Devin Carter and C.J. Riley. So they're really big physical guys. So what they'll do, like one-on-one reps, we get a lot of reps against those guys just to try to simulate what we might get in the game. So we might get a lot of hands on, a lot of quick first steps, moves, trying to beat us over top, those kinds of things.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Gibby.
Yeah, Shyheim, in the recruiting process, who else was real close as far as schools that you really liked growing up, and what did it come down to make you choose the Wolfpack, and who was close with the Wolfpack when it come to recruiting?
Well, when it came to recruiting, like when I broke it down, my top two schools came down to NC State and Clemson. So I ended up choosing NC State because when I came here, it's right up the street from my home, so I came here like almost every other weekend. So I would come here. Everybody called me by my first name. That made me feel good. I felt like I was comfortable. I felt like I was at home. Like every coach, welcoming me, showing me like how things go around here. I even sat in on a couple of training sessions. I came to a couple of practices. I really like the flow of things, and I could just feel like I could fit in here, and I could like have opportunity to prove myself early on. So that's really what I wanted to get into. On the other side, Clemson is like a big program. It's very, very business oriented. So I knew I would like the system, but I know I have to grow into the system. It's like nothing would be just time there. Like you would have to, earn everything there, and like I'm earning everything here, but I just know like my route, where I wanted to be, and how fast I wanted to get there. I felt like NC State was just the best fit place for me.
I used to work down in the Greenville market and cover Rocky Mount games. Do you see big time recruiters? What was it like to have big time recruiters come to Rocky Mount? Because you don't often see that. That turned some heads as you were, laying waste to opponents down there, seeing big time recruiters come in.
Yes, sir. It was different. Rocky Mount, it's a very small area, so it's every now and then you'll get a big time recruit out of the area. So with me just being one of the bigger guys, like I drew a lot of attention, from other schools and from the media. It was different, but like you gotta take it all in, live in the moment.
Thanks, Shyheim.
No problem.
Alec, what you got?
Hey, Shyheim, we just talked to Tanner Engel, and he Saturday really battled in that game, had some cramps, some injury stuff that he was dealing with, and kept coming back and just making big plays. For you to have a guy on the secondary, that's that veteran leader, that's that captain of that secondary, to see a performance like that from him that was that gutsy, how much does that inspire the rest of you guys to kind of step it up and play hard?
Honestly, we just thrive off his energy. Like he brings energy to the secondary. Like if we see him doing something, we'll try to mimic what he's doing. Like in practice, we'll all like go to him if we have questions, or we'll ask him for like help, or on a certain coverage, like where we're dropping, if we're just confused or anything, we'll go to him and he'll like get us in check, like tell us what we need to do, how we need to do it. And we know like if we're ever in the coverage, we know like as a corner, we know he'll be there over top for us, helping us if we're other like, in a situation like we might be trailing too far, or we know like we'll always have him over top. So like he's a great player. I love the way he plays, like coming in, down, tackling, great cover skills. He's just the perfect safety that fits our defense.
Brett.
Shyheim, does it make it any easier going out on the road, having done it now 2 weeks in a row, and you're used to the routine and all the things that go on because of COVID, or are you tired of being out on the road and ready to be home?
To be honest, I'm just happy to play football. So wherever the game goes, I go. It doesn't matter to me, home or away. I know it's gonna be some big time away games, and I mean, that's what football all about, you know, fan going against you. So that's when you just gotta lock in, just tunnel vision. That's all you gotta have, tunnel vision. You can't worry about what's going on around you, what soil you're on. You just gotta know who's your opponent and just dominate at the end of the day. So I mean, I try not to let those kind of things get to me because that's more like a distraction. You know, you're gonna have to take road games and so you have to give home games. So I mean, it's all about your performance at the end of the day.
Because of all the protocols, though, is it now give you a little bit of an advantage having been out on the road a couple of times? You know what to expect. There's no more surprises.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, I'm getting comfortable out there, so I mean, like everything's starting to become second nature for me.
Thank you.
Gibby, you got something else?
Yeah, Shyheim, how much confidence did you guys gain by getting that road win? Because you know, State had been in kind of a road game funk, and you guys got that big win. How much confidence does that give you guys?
It gave us a big push. Like we're not where we want to be, but we're definitely taking stepping stones towards where we want to get. So I mean, you know, just that big road game coming down to the wire. We made a couple mistakes, but we fixed them over this week, and we're ready to move forward. Like every weekend, we just go in, do what we got to do. After we watch film, everything's a new week, so we can't just dwell on the past. But moving forward, this week of practice, we actually brought a lot more energy, and we just feeling up to what's going to happen next.
Jonas.
Shyheim, you kind of just touched on it. You said this week of practice, you guys have brought a lot more energy. Coach Doran said one of the biggest difference between the Virginia Tech game and the Pitt game was the way you guys practice and the way you guys approach practice throughout the week. As one of the younger guys and some of the young guys, did you guys have to learn how to practice the right way or be intense every single day in order for it to show up on the field on Saturday?
Yes, sir. So I mean, you know, it might be a day where you might not be feeling up to it, or your legs might be sore, or you're just drained from all the film study, all the extra working out. So it's just all about at the most you have to take care of your body, but on top of that, you just gotta have it mentally. And I had to learn that because I felt like, you know, those couple of days, like my legs were gone, I wasn't moving how I wanted to move, but I just had to suck it all up and just like do my job because at the end of the day, that's what I'm out here for. I gotta do my job. And so I had to make sure everything else was out of the way.
Would you say this week of practice has been just as intense as the practice was leading up to Pitt, or even better?
Yes, sir, I will, because we know what we did last week. It came out on the field, so we want to keep doing the same thing. We don't want to take any steps backwards. So if we can pull out a big win over Pitt, and I mean, why not? Why change anything? Why not keep doing the same thing so we can pull out another big win?
All right. Does anybody have anything else for Shyheim? All right. Good job, Shyheim.
Thanks, Shyheim.